20 years since the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, the Met has been completely transformed. The people of the Met are utterly different. The way in which we engage with our communities is very much improved. The way in which we understand people from a whole variety of different cultural backgrounds. The way in which we investigate homicide, the way in which we support families who've been the victims of very serious crime. The way in which we deal with hate crime. I could go on and on. We do things utterly differently from the Met that I was in 1993 when Stephen was killed, and indeed 20 years ago when the inquiry report came out. My predecessor used to say he thought it was for others to judge, and I do agree. People will have their opinions and people have their insights, and we need to listen to that. I don't find it an accurate description of my Metropolitan Police. I don't find it a useful way now of thinking about my service. I'm very proud of how far we've come. I'm not complacent. And one of the things that I think then Doreen, now Baroness Lawrence, and Neville and Sir William were saying to policing is that you've constantly got to look at your systems, your processes, and your outcomes, what is happening to people on the street, to check that you are treating people fairly and with the best possible equal results. And we do that all the time. We're always looking to improve. The service was so different then. So was society, so was London, so were other institutions. And I think when the words were first used, institutional racism, there was an enormous amount of energetic effort by the likes of John Grieve and many other police leaders at all levels to try to change things really fast. There was equally quite a lot of hurt, as you may remember, and some resentment by some colleagues, because when they went out on the street, this rather sophisticated definition that Sir William had come up with was converted by many a member of the public into, you're a police officer, you're racist, which officers, white and black, many of them found deeply, deeply offensive and made it harder for them to engage with people. What I see now, and in the last several years, is a Met which is very much at ease with itself, a Met which is at ease with its public, a Met which is constantly looking to reach out and recruit from and engage with people in minority ethnic communities in different ways, and does that really actively. And there is no sense of resistance to that whatsoever from my people. And I suppose that's one of the biggest changes, that people are at ease with the notion that we need to constantly make sure that we are doing our best for all our public. So we're recruiting right now. We've had some new money and we are out recruiting. Last year we were recruiting somewhere about 28% black and minority ethnic recruits. And that's great. And I want to see that continue, and I want it to even increase in the future. But of course police officers do stay. It's a job that people like doing and tend to stick with once they've arrived. And most people will stay 30, 35 years. So it does take a long time to change. However, if you go out on the streets now, you'll see the front line teams have a much higher proportion than 14% of their officers being black and minority ethnic. And clearly Londoners are responding positively to that. People are saying it's great to have somebody who speaks Polish, it's great to see somebody who looks like me, it's great to know that a member of my family now wants to join and they wouldn't have done 15 years ago. So I think things are changing fast. I'd like them to change even faster. London has changed incredibly fast. I hope you don't think this is a cheap comment, but I walk around newsrooms, I walk around newspapers, I walk around many another organisation, and I don't see the representation that we have. And what I do see is a real desire to speed up in terms of a proportion of our recruits that are from black and minority ethnic groups, to make sure we retain them, to make sure we progress them, and the comment that you refer to was on the present rate of, the last rate of trajectory. It would take a very long time. That's why we're investing more in it. That's why we're campaigning more strongly on it. That's why we're trying to break down myths and stereotypes and barriers that exist in some of our communities, or some parts of some of our communities, about how people may see their Metropolitan Police. So I'm obviously ambitious to speed that right up, and we've set ourselves some quite challenging targets for 5 and 10 years from now.